Hi there, Yearbook staff. So I thought I would create a video tutorial. It might take a while to recreate this page for you so that you have a visual just to help you out. Okay, so I'm going to share my screen. So let me go ahead. I'm going to just pick a random page. All right. Now, let's just set up our pages. So you want to set up your grid right here. So what you're going to do is you're going to right click. Okay. There's another way of doing it as well. So you can do like the file as well, but we're going to right click and then we are going to view and hit preferences. So go right click, view and preferences. And so what I want you guys to do is we're going to make sure show margins, show bleed, show trim allowance. We want all of this on so that you can see where you can create layouts and where you cannot. Okay, so right now it's snapping to 6 points, which means it's it's equivalent to half an inch. Guides. So you can have a grid view. So I'm going to go ahead and do one pica small grid view there, and then you can have columns here. So right now I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, we're going to change it to 3 columns. So that will be 3 columns on the left, 3 columns on the right. It's up to you, but right now that's what we have. All right, ruler, show ruler, and the ruler is yellow. Toolbars, you can have all these checked out so that all the tools are there for you. And then you're going to click apply. That doesn't look right. Let me see. That should be 4 columns because that's equal to 8. That looks about right. All right, then we're going to click OK. So now you have column 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now later on we can change it too, depending on what we're going to be creating. Now I'm going to recreate this page. I'm going to start with the left-hand side here. So I'm going to show you some tricks. So remember, we're going to go to inspector. So it's there for you. These are the options. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab the picture and I'm going to put a placeholder. Now that looks like it's taking up the whole section. Why is there a search button there? All right. So I'm going to try to make it as big as possible. I'm going to extend it out there for real quick. And then I'm going to move it out. Now, when with StudioWorks, you cannot put an image like this because then if you go to page inspector, there's going to be an error. So it's improper shape bleeds, but you can have it overlap. So you can have it go across that so that it doesn't have that error. So notice that error went away. So I'm going to go ahead and extend it out, and it looks like it goes into the gutter in the middle. So I'm going to go ahead and make it go there. And my picture doesn't seem that big, so I'm going to go ahead and bring it up. Okay, and that's going to be my placeholder for my image. Okay, and then on the bottom, it looks like I have another image right here of, looks like Logan. Now, when you're taking a picture, you can hold down the shift button and it will stretch the image proportionally. You can do that. Okay, remember, you can also change the object size in the object inspector if you want it to, but we're just going to go for it. We're just going to sketch it out. Okay, it doesn't have to be exact right now. We're just still practicing. All right, so here's my picture for my placeholder. All right. Okay. All right, so I got 1, 2 pictures. So I'm going to go on the right hand side and I'm going to add 2 more pictures here. And let's see. And later on, when I teach the rules, you'll learn that pictures have to go straight across from the columns, but we'll talk about that later on, I promise. All right, so here's a picture. I'm going to bring it up. Now it looks like it's about a little bit bigger than that. And there's 2 of them. It looks like it's the same size. So here's a trick. If you click on this, you can do Control C and Control V, and it will copy and paste. So Control C, Control V. Or what you can do is you can right click and copy, and then right click again, and new file, edit, paste. So there's 2 ways you can do that. So now you have 2 images that are at the same size. Okay, and it looks like it's 2 picas away. All right, let's move it down because we have the text there. So I have my pictures there. All right, I got a couple of pictures in there, and I'm going to go ahead and add another picture on this side over here. Okay. All right. Now, let's see. Okay, let's go ahead and add in some objects and text. So over here on the left-hand side, it looks like there's a green object. So it looks like a rectangle. So I'm going to go ahead and draw my rectangle. Now you want to make sure that it overlaps the outside of it because then there are no errors. So I'm going to add in a red, a green, or it doesn't matter what color you do it. Okay. So here's my object. Right now it's a rectangle. I'm going to fill this object with color. So that means I have to, since I use an object, I'm going to go to object and I'm going to fill it with a color. Now I've already added all the colors from last year for you guys, but eventually I will delete them. Okay. So it's green. Now it looks like, notice that there is a stroke on the outside. I want to turn that off. So I'm going to go to stroke. And I'm going to turn it off. I'm going to put none because we don't want any strokes. Now it looks like it's a green one, but maybe I can turn down the fill a little bit by going to fill. And maybe I want it a little bit more transparent there. Okay, now we have an issue here. I'm not sure if you guys caught it yet. Okay, but it looks like my image is behind my green box. Well, I want that in the front, right? I want the image to be in front. So my favorite thing is to do right click and find some really cool functions. So you're going to click on the object and you can right click and you can say send to the back. Ta-da! Now it's in the front. So you have your image in the front and the green box is in the back. All right. So now let's see what else we can add. All right. Let's add some text. So I'm going to go ahead and add a text because down here it had, looks like Logan's name. So it looks like there's going to be a couple of text boxes. One text box that says Logan and the other one will say Fulford. So I'm going to do Logan. Now, right now, this font doesn't look like the font that we have in there. This is actually a Storyteller font. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to Type Inspector because it's a font. And I'm going to go down and scroll down to a font that matches it, okay? So right now, we're just playing with it. So it doesn't have to be exact, but I'm going to pick this one. All right. And there's some other ones too, but you can choose. Up to you guys. See there? All right. I'm just going to put Storyteller brush. It doesn't matter if it's not exact. I just want you to play with it. All right. Then I'm going to add another text box because I wanted to say Logan Fulford, right? There was two fonts. I'm going to add another one. And I'm going to type in Fulford like this. And I'm going to move it around like so. All right. Now, I'm going to make it a little bit bigger so we can bring up the font. So here's the type under font type, and I can change the size. So I'm going to change it to the size 16. Okay. And then you can even add another text box for it to say 7th grade or 7th. Here we go. All right. So I can then now take this box and move it up. Now you can play with it. You can even redesign it if you like. I don't care. My big thing is that you practice designing the pages and using the tools. Okay. I should play some music. All right, so I'm going to put this here. Bring this over. All right, and you can play with the colors if you like. So let's say I want Fulford to be green because in here it's green, so I can change the color. I'm just going to change it to a different color. There we go. And you know what? I want to make it bold, so I'm going to bold that too. All right. You know what? This green is too bright for me. I'm going to go change that. So I'm going to go to Object, and I'm going to make it a little bit more transparent, just so it sticks out there more. All right. So you got your pages. All right, I need a text box right here because it looks like the one that says Jumpstart, I'm going to add a text box here. Remember, it's not going to be exact measurements of what I have because you don't have the measurements, but at least we can practice that. So I'm going to write Jumpstart. And then I'm going to write Oten. Hey, I have Oten in my Armstrong. It's grade 7. Put that in parentheses. And we're going to change the font. Don't worry, we'll play with that. Okay, attended Spartan Club. You guys finish your sentence. Now, I am going to change different things on here because I wanted it to stand out. So I want the Jumpstart to be a little bit different, right? It's you can change it to bold, and you can change the color. You can do whatever you want. I don't care as long as it matches a little bit there. All right. Okay. So it looks like there is a fill. So right now your text is like transparent. The background is transparent, but the text is there. So what we're going to do is we're going to fill it, the text box object with white. So right now, this is an object and it's a text box. So I'm going to go to object and I'm going to go to fill, and I'm going to fill it with a solid color, but I'm going to bring in white because it looks like they use white here, and it's transparent. So we're going to bring down the transparency here so that it's kind of like translucent, and the stroke, no stroke. Okay, so good. It looks like that. All right. And you could type in the whole sentence there as well. All right. You can change the size of the font. You can change the type of font. So I'm going to change the font so that you guys can see. So if we're referring to fonts, we're going to go to Type Inspector. So I'm going to go to, let's see. Last year, it looks like we used Proxima. Yeah, Proxima Nova Light. There we go. But I still want this part of it to be something else. You can even change this to a different font if you like, but I'm going to keep it the same. I'm going to change the color though. All right. I'm going to make it darker blue, and I am going to let's see if it lets me bold it. Some fonts will not let me do anything special with it because that's just the type of font it is. All right. Now, since I got that text box done and let's duplicate the other one, I'm just going to copy it and Control Paste. So Control C, Control V will give me another one where I can just drop it here, just like that. Okay. All right. So then we have 2 more text boxes, but this one is actually one text box, but it automatically makes it into 2. So let me show you a trick here. So I'm going to go ahead and do a text box like this, and I'm going to type what it says here, okay? So beast mode, so let's see how fast I can type. Let me hold this up. All right, 7th graders, Aiden, Seafried. I'm doing my best to type, so there's going to be some errors. It's okay for now, for me, but I want you to fix it. I'm just showing you guys because I'm spelling. All right, excuse my spelling errors, but I just want you guys to see. So here's a really cool thing. So there is text, a bunch of text that I just typed in there that you guys can't see. But what happens here is, let's say I want my size to be like this, right? And there's more text there, but it's not showing. So what you can do is you can click on this little plus button, and it's gonna bring out the rest of the text. But then it's gonna be the same proportion as the original. So see that what I just did there? All right, I hit the plus button and it made another, it made the same size text box, okay? So I can do the same thing. Let's say, you know what, this font is way too big. I'm gonna change it down to 10, okay? Now I have the whole thing fit in there. Now you can justify it, but we're trying not to justify it this year. I was told that I was not, so I shouldn't have justified it, but we could justify it. And then now I'm going to put in the header. So I'm going to bring in the header here to get in the bigger text box there. I'm going to write beasting it out. And I could use the same, it looks like it's the same text box, but you could do two separate ones as well. All right, so I want this to be bigger text. So I'm going to make this big, bring it up to, let's say 28. Nah, let's do bigger. Let's do 36. All right, perfect. So it says beasting it out. But I'm just missing the out, so let's bring it down. All right, bring it down to 30. Bring it down. All right, there it is. I just pulled the text box over a little bit so you guys can see. Okay, so beasting it out, and then I'm going to change the color of this font right here. And it looks like it's some kind of green color. All right, cool. Beasting it out. And then I'm going to add in another text box for my my lead in or my subheader. So notice you have to bring in lots of text boxes. This is Stacy. Students participate in the Chino curtain race. All right, let me make that smaller. Change this font size. I don't have the font size listed on here, but I'm just asking you to recreate it. So doesn't have to be exact, just an idea, okay? All right, I'm going to change this to the blue color. So here's my text. Here's the blue. Change the font to try to match whatever it is. It might be, I'm just going to do Olympia. Okay. All right, cool. So now I have that. And I'm going to bring this down because it looks like it's the same size as the text and the image from that one. Well, the picture is actually the same size too. So I'm going to bring it down. And this one, I'll bring that picture down too. There we go. Okay. All right, awesome. So we have those pictures there. Let's see, what else do I need? Looks like on the bottom here, I have text. I can add in the text. All right. But it looks like that mile is a different font. So I'm going to actually take that word mile out and do a different text box for that. But I'm still going to continue doing this. So I'm going to make this bigger. Now notice that there's different places where you can do under type, and I use the top and the bottom, just whatever is closest to me. All right, so then I'm going to change this to, I believe this is Proxima Standard, or you can do Proxima Standard, or then it doesn't matter. All right, and change the color. So here's the color. Change it to the blue, whatever you like. I don't need all this extra text box, so I'm just going to shrink it down. There we go. All right, then I want to add in the word miles or mile. And I'm going to change the size of it. I'm going to change the font as well. So I'm going to go to like a storyteller and I'm going to bring up the size. Let's do 24. And then we use my cursor to move it around, just like that. Okay. You can leave the color, you can change it, whatever you like. All right. And then I have another text, 2 more text box. I have the subheading here. All right. Okay, I'm just going to copy that same text right here, and then I'm going to leave it. And I'm going to extend. It looks like there's 3 columns. So I'm just going to copy and paste it so it looks like there's more text there. I'm not going to rewrite the whole thing. Okay. Just so that you guys can see. All right, so if I wanted to do 3 columns, I could just keep on typing, right? And then I'm going to hit the little plus button, and it's going to duplicate the same size. Okay. Do I have enough? Do I fit everything? I think I wrote too much, but that's okay. I can move things over. Let's say I move this over so that I have room for all that. See how am I selecting this? If you hold down the shift button and you select it, you can do that. You can move this by using the arrow. You can remember you can use a lot of things to move it, but I'm just gonna do that just so that you guys can see. All right. Oopsie. Oh, my stuff. No, I lost my text box. Okay, let me try it again. Occasionally, make sure you hit the save button like that. Sorry. All right, I'm going to just use this text over here and bring it over. Just to get the practice in. Just getting practice in. All right. Hit the plus button. There goes another one. And it's just a continuation of whatever we wrote. Okay? There we go. All right. Now it went over to the gutter, so I got to be careful with that. So we'll move this all over a little bit by selecting it. I hold the shift button down when I do that so that it moves over. Okay. All right. So we got that. Now, I can do the rest, but I'm going to go ahead and show you guys how to put the pictures in. So I go to content here, recreate a layout. I'm going to go ahead and grab some pictures and drop them in the box. Okay, so here's that one. Here's the exact picture of that one. And you want to make sure you hit scaled to fit. There we go. And then I'm just going to pick some random pictures to put in. It doesn't matter, guys. We're just practicing. So I'm going to drop that picture in, scaled to fit. Okay, now you see this picture here? This is a good picture, but I can double click it to make it bigger and I can shift it over a little bit. So when you click it once, there's going to be like little boxes around it. That's to move the whole object. When you double click it, it now changes to the image itself, and you can shrink it. You can make it bigger. I like to fill the frame so that you can see the action that's going on there. All right, let's go ahead and grab another picture. All right, here's another one. Drop it in, scale to fit. All right, notice that this student is super far away. So once again, I could double click and click one of the corners and drag it so that it stretches out like so. And I can even move it up and down. There we go. I want to see what she's doing. All right. And I'm going to grab another picture. Drop it in. Let's get a group picture here. Then we do scale to fit. Scale to fit, always start with scale to fit. And then if you need to make it bigger and make sure everyone fits in there, you can drag it out. There we go. Okay, so let's take a look at what else is here. All right, so on the bottom, I have another object, a blue object that goes straight across. All right, so I am going to draw a rectangle that goes all the way across to here. I don't know the size, but we're just kind of eyeballing it. Just stay within the pica and you should be okay. All right. It looks like it's color blue. So I'm going to inspect, object, fill, solid, color. Pick any color you want. I don't care. All right. Here's the blue. Stroke, no stroke, none. Transparent. Looks like a little transparency there. Let's see, here you go. Fill and transparent. That was the stroke. All right, there we go. We have that. Now I can add in pictures. Now here's the cool thing about this is that if you add a picture, hold down the shift button, that will give you like the exact size of the picture, but you don't have to. Okay, so let's say I like that this size right here. This is perfect. It fits. Okay, what you can do is, check this out. You can do Control, Copy, and Control Paste. And line it up. See how I'm lining it up? The spacing is perfect. Now, what's going to happen is you can then copy the same thing over again by selecting it. So you click on this and you hold the Shift button and you click on the other image. You can do Control C or right click and do a copy. And you can do right click, paste. All right. And here is another set of pictures. All right, and then you can just do the same thing. Oh, look, it's doing it by itself now. So if once it gets it, it actually copies, pastes in the exact same distance apart, just like that. So now that's over the limit. So I'm going to delete that right there. Okay, maybe I don't want that. So I'm going to delete that one. And now you have your pictures. You can move them around. So I'm selecting all of them, and I'm just going to move it around so that, let's see if we can fit some more stuff in there. Okay, so we'll do that. All right. All right, so then we have another text box here. So we add another text box up above that says, and then put this in strategy is everything. Make it bigger. So we'll go to text 28. Well, it's not showing it, so I gotta stretch the text box out so that it shows. There we go. All right, and then we have another text box that goes on top. It says, what is the main piece you use to defeat your opponent? Okay, it's coming along, guys. Now you just get pictures and plug it in there. All right, then it looks like there's another section right here. Follow the beat. So that looks like a, it looks like an image. So you can actually do an object. It doesn't matter because you can drop in stuff. So here I want to do an object. And I'm going to stretch it out. There we go. So, and that's an object, but you can actually drop images in objects too. So I'm going to go look for that image. Now, to find that image, you're going to go to content. Now, it's a clip art, not like a regular image. So I'm going to go to the drop down where it has, where's my pictures? Not my content. Clip art. Okay, so there's the clip art there. Another way you can do this is, open it up. You can search. Okay, so I'm going to search. Let's search guitar. All right, so there's stuff there. So it looks like right there. So when I search for it, it's right there. I'm going to take this and I'm going to drop it inside this object. Okay, it's going to, now once you do this, it's going to change to an image. Scale to fit. And there it is. Yay. All right. Now, it looks like there's no stroke on it, so I'm going to minimize this. There's no stroke, so I'm going to go to Inspect Object, and I'm going to take off the stroke. I'm not a big fan of strokes unless it looks cool there. All right, so here's that. Now you can do your little text over it, and then you can add pictures. And it looks like there's lots of layers there. All right, so there's a lot of layers there. Looks like there's let's see if we could draw it in there. It's a little rectangle that is filled with like a yellow greenish color, maybe this one. And we can make it transparent. Once again, there is no stroke, so we're going to take that out. Okay, looks like there's some other boxes behind it. So you could draw your little boxes here. And it looks like it has a shadow. So I think it's a box with a shadow on it. So let's check. So it looks like the box is filled with white. And this one actually has a stroke, so I'm going to leave it alone. And then I want to add a shadow and see what happens there. There it is. There's that shadow. So it looks like there's a shadow there, and you can change the color of the shadow. It looks like it's like a gray color, blue color, something like that. I don't know which one it is, but we'll just pick one. Okay, so then you have that there. And then I can copy and paste it, Control C, Control V, and it will give me another one. There we go. And now we just need to put in the last images of these students. So I'm going to draw another one on top, like so. All right, let's say I like that size. Control C, Control V. Bring it over. Here we go. Okay, and it looks like we need to make sure that there's room for text and everything. So I'm going to move all this back down. So I can move it down so that we have room, because it looks like there's room down there. Move it up. Okay. So now I can even make this green box a little bit further down so that I can include my text. All right, I can move this down. And then I can start looking for pictures and dropping it in. So I want to go back to not clip art, because we're looking at pictures now. So I'm going to go to my content and create a recreate layout. I'm just going to pull some pictures. You just drop in a picture. It doesn't matter, guys. Just practicing. So grab whatever picture you have. You can do a bunch of repeats. I don't care. I can drop the picture in here. Let's say this is a group picture, but there was one kid in there that is the kid that you're that you interviewed. So what you can do is click on the picture, double click. It's not letting me double click. Let me see. There it is. Okay, I can stretch it out as big as I want, and I'm going to find his face. Let's say this is the kid, and I try to fit him in there, and bam, he's in the picture. All right. So you can do that with all sorts. So we get creative with that. All right, take another picture, drop it into that box, scale to fit, stretch it out. If you like it that small, that's fine. You can stretch it out. Maybe you just want, that one student in there. There we go. Another picture, drop it in, scale to fit, double click, stretch it out. All right, guys. I think you guys have the idea. Hopefully this helped. Some of you guys watch the videos for this video first to help you out. So I'm just going to drop this picture in. All right, guys. So recreate this. It's almost there. It's coming along. You just need to add another text box, some more text here.